What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker podcast. I'm Nick Baker, and across from me, Shane Good.
Very across from you, yet again.
Yeah. Oh, man, and we're back to our old COVID-19 ways. We're far away from each other again, but we are still here to talk to you about some video games. And, of course, as everybody in the gaming industry knows, this week is a big week because finally Sony has revealed the PS5. And, oh, my God, a list of games that would make a grown man cry, and it did.
Yikes.
So we got a lot to talk about here, but my question first is what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? What have I been playing? What do you ask me like you don't know what I've been playing? So I've been playing League of Legends. I've been playing League of Legends, and I've just been playing Eve. I renewed my Eve subscription, and I made a lot of money. And I started doing abysses, and I haven't died since last week when I was learning how to do abysses. So I got that going for me.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. No deaths equals good.
Yes, no deaths equals very good. And I was able to make all the money back that I lost from dying as well.
Well, great.
So yeah, what have you been playing, man?
I have been still playing Destiny. Trying to get light level to whatever max is. I think it's like 1,000 something.
I thought it was just 1,000 even, but
I don't know. It's a little over. I think it's like 1,060 or something is like the really hard cap. Where you just like get perfect gear. But
I see.
Yeah, I'm just shy of 900 now, so I'm getting there. But yeah, I've just been too pumped for everything that's going on in the gaming world to really be focusing on too much. Played a little bit of COD and, been bouncing around games, trying to clean up the backlog a little bit, but it's not really going well.
Yeah.
Too excited.
I could see that.
Waiting for The Last of Us this Friday, which is going to be dope.
You know what sucks, dude? Last of Us is Friday. Also, PoE season release is Friday.
Yeah.
Well,
you got that PoE covered, and I'll play The Last of Us.
I'll play The Last of Us. True. Very true. Good point.
We got a wide net here at GoodeBaker Games.
Yo, you play all the good games, and I play all the games that I play.
The number games.
Yeah, there we go. I play all the mathematical games,
Yeah. You genius, you.
Yeah, Anyways, let's get off that topic.
Anyway, so now to the big juicy stuff. The PS5 Sony reveal event. Just in like broad terms, like what did you think of like the entirety of the event, like production, all that? Because I think it was as good, or if not better, as anything that I've seen them put out before.
I think it's definitely comparable to everything that they've put out before. I watched just the highlights of the event. I didn't watch the entire event. I had time to watch the entire event.
Right.
However, I did think that, like, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I could see those events going very less people.
Yeah, like just solely being digital.
Yeah. I could definitely see those events kind of leaning towards that direction. I don't know if that's the case, but I could definitely see it.
Apparently this broke all kinds of YouTube records because it was one of the, if not, I think it was the most watched live event ever.
Oh, that's cool.
On YouTube. So that's pretty interesting, and also it's Sony's most popular console reveal ever. So. That's also interesting considering that they've put that in front of millions of people at E3 before, like, PS4, PS3, and
yeah, that's true. And they streamed those events as well.
Yeah, which is really the extra interesting. So maybe it's just because a ton of people are home and watching their computers constantly.
Holy shit! Just looked that up. A total of 4.32 million people tuned in via YouTube to watch the PS5 reveal.
Isn't that nuts, man?
That's insane.
All those people were watching the same thing at the same time, and they got to experience Sony put GTA 5 up in front of all of their lines.
I
So
saw that.
the presser starts, and it's this really ambiguous, like just the sacred symbols are flying everywhere. They're doing all these graphical presentations, and they all look like they took millions of hours to do.
Yo.
Some graphic designers just tearing his hair out somewhere at Sony, but all of that to pop up a Rockstar logo, and everybody loses their minds, and immediately you're met with Michael's voice, and you're like, "Fuck, it's 5."
Could you imagine though if they did preview a 6?
Oh my, dude, they would have destroyed this they would have just won this generation immediately.
Pretty much. I mean, pretty much. Dude, that's just so fucking funny. They trolled so many people by putting out that Rockstar symbol.
I know it was. Oh man, it set your expectations for this up in like a really false way, because you're like, man, they lead with Rockstar, and not really even like any new details about any of their titles. It's just
It's GTA 5,
online.
baby.
Online's going to be free at launch of GTA, I guess, on PS5. I imagine that the GTA 5 is going to be ported to PS5 next year, and online will come with it.
Yeah.
Said 2021.
My guess would be that this is the start of a lot of like larger companies using platforms like Fortnite does. It's kind of a weird way to look at it, but like Fortnite, whether you have PlayStation Plus or not, you can play Fortnite with anybody because the Fortnite Epic Games covers that. Like they pay a premium to have it, so everybody can play it for free. So like I could definitely see other companies with a little bit older games possibly going this way and getting new attraction. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's a great business move, honestly, for Sony,
Oh yeah.
because GTA is still a bestseller, constantly on the list, and online is still as popular as it really has ever been, and just getting that for PlayStation Plus free, you don't have to own GTA 5. You just jump right in there, and everybody gets $1 million up until the release next year. So everybody's going to be kitted out with a bunch of money.
That's pretty good. I mean, $1 million doesn't buy you much in GTA 5 anymore, but yeah, I mean, still pretty cool. I would give me like a mid-tier exotic car.
You multiply that by what, like 10 months until the release of this.
Pretty much.
So it's a pretty good starting kit, if you ask me.
Dude, it's nuts. Just for the record, by the way, so Grand Theft Auto has sold 130 million units.
Ugh, it's just sickening.
Just think about that. 130 million units.
Just sickening. But like I said, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because man, this direct, I call it a direct, it actually is Sony's version of a direct. It's all weirdly digital, and these guys are on like black backgrounds. It's crazy. It just gets wild with the next one when they announced Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'm sure that this was like the first one on the highlight reel.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie. I saw this and was like, yep, that's a smart move.
Yeah, that's a good call, especially to be able to turn it around that fast from Spider-Man's release just a couple years ago, and now have and apparently a standalone title, according to everybody that I've been listening to this week. It's going to be a standalone Spider-Man game, so it's not going to be an expansion or anything like that, but it's also not going to be, I think, as big as the original Spider-Man game. I think it's going to be a little bit smaller, but it's to be expected. But honestly, dude, to have a Spider-Man game of that caliber at launch for a new system, I don't think really we've had that since maybe PS2. I imagine.
I know PS1 had a really cool Spider-Man game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just strictly like a banger game like that at launch. Like,
oh yeah,
PS4 definitely didn't have that on the first party side, and neither did Xbox really. So it's new ground for sure. And I think that Sony's really found their footing in pacing out their releases so that they can have bangers when they need them.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of bangers when they need them, I was really needing this next one.
Yeah, dude, this next one actually actively got me excited when they started talking about it. After Spider-Man, I was like, wow, how could this get any better? And then Gran Turismo came up, and I was like,
Yo,
well, it didn't get better, but it's pretty good.
yeah, I grew up playing Gran Turismo 2 on PS1, and I literally like I played, you know that kid that like would just sit there and play the game for hours, and every time you looked back you'd be like, ah, it doesn't really look like he's done too much. Maybe he just doesn't know what he's doing. That was me, except I was doing the 300 to 500 lap races.
Oof,
I like
man,
I completed so
that's
many of
commitment.
those. So many of those damn races, man.
But oh my goodness, the cars look so nice. They're so
Oh yeah.
shiny on the new PS5 engine. Oh my goodness.
Can't wait for that to never come to PC, but you know.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but you guys got four, so you'll be all right.
Yeah, it's true. Forza's pretty tit.
So Gran Turismo is sick, but this next one I think was one of the games of the show just simply because it showcased the power of the PlayStation 5 in a new way that we've really been kind of waiting to see what the solid state drive of the PlayStation can do for first party games. And
Mhm.
so Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart um, started out with a really beautiful trailer. Honestly, it just it looks like a Pixar movie at this point. It's crazy. So
Definitely pretty fucking cool.
and then having that trailer then lead into gameplay so seamlessly, uh, it really stunned me. And then the little rifts that he was opening up and jumping through to new worlds, a new world each time, and the quickness of each of those loads in game, while you're jumping from thing to thing, shooting enemies, and it's just a lot going on screen. So it gives you a lot of hope for what they're going to be able to do in the future for just any game, really. But honestly, Ratchet and Clank stole the show as far as hardware goes, and I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, same. They did a. I really thought the game looked pretty as well, like for what it was, but it definitely it reminded me that these consoles that are coming out aren't they're not really like the consoles that we know. They're literally just computers that are gonna hook to your TV with a different operating system than like Windows or Mac, you know?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It's just super high powered game specific PCs, which I mean, what more can you want?
just a regular computer, so I can do anything on it. But hey, you know, who's counting?
We we can have both. We can have both.
We can, but
But yeah, Ratchet and Clank looks sick. I can't wait to actually go back and play 2016's remake of that because still haven't finished that, but it was really really good. So
I finished all the Ratchet and Clanks.
nice.
That is
That's
that.
a good medal to have on your chest.
It
Maybe
is
you'll
one.
actually be able to try this in like 4 years when you finally get a PS5 on sale.
It depends on how long they take to come on sale, but maybe, maybe.
The next game on the list um, was a shocker for me. I saw Square Enix and I about shit my pants. And then I saw exclusively designed for PS5 and I shat more of my pants.
Yeah, what what was the following of the shitting of the pants?
Well, it was a crazy trailer that starred this female protagonist that
Mm.
had magical powers that
Ooh,
could bind Earth, and she seemed to have human jumping abilities. And not much was actually, distinguishable about this trailer, other than the ending stinger was this crazy like skeletal fire dragon,
looked pretty cool.
and man, did that look pretty.
It
But
looked pretty
Square
freaking
Enix
cool.
is Square Enix is known for putting out their really, really pretty trailers that don't end up ever going anywhere. So Project Athea, hopefully this actually does come to fruition because it does look like a really crazy concept. It's just you really can't grasp much from what was going on there.
Yeah, and
But it's
there's
beautiful.
if you go to their website for Project Athena, it says working title, and you can actually uh like the like you sign into the page and it's like in a world not her own, their resolve or where resolve will be tested, truths will be questioned, and devotions will be doubted. She will rise, which sounds really cool. And then it's just that's it. That's
Sounds
all the
like,
page says.
it sounds like a trailer beat, man. It's like there
Dude,
should be some like drums in the background, like
yeah. It sounds cool.
it's like whoa, damn, you get me hyped, but I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like it's just that line. Like it's that paragraph and it says subscribe for updates. It'll be coming to PC. So,
Yeah, right, yeah. So specifically designed for PS5 and also coming to PC. There's a few games that are like that on this list,
yeah.
which some of them will surprise you. So stick around. But the next one definitely showcases the eclectic nature of the games on this list that they curated for this event. Annapurna's Stray, in which you play a cat that is moving about a kind of cyberpunk
Yeah.
humans have died world and robots have taken over.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It looks weird, but damn, is that cat cute? I'm not gonna lie to you. It meowed at the end, and I was like, yeah, sold me, got me.
Sold.
it and it was like the little purring in the background when the trailer was finished, and it was nice. It was a nice touch, and honestly, it was like a good little palate cleanser from all like the breakneck speed that we were on with Ratchet and Square Enix, and just like Annapurna. This is gonna be a nice little chill game to have like a coffee and play as a cat.
To have a coffee and play as a cat. So, and this game is coming to PC as well. It's already on Steam. For like, it's already got a Steam page. It's already got like, our release is 2021. So you can actually add this to your wish list on Steam, and you can get updates about it as it gets closer to coming out, and as more information appears on it as well.
Sweet.
So,
So you will know up to date what that cat is up to.
dude, if this is your game, let me tell you, Steam has got you covered.
Dude, the cat is wearing a backpack.
I know. It is a very cute. This looks like a Deborah game, 100%.
Yeah, you need to show her this trailer stat.
I will.
But anyway, on to the next one. Actually, it's not a game. It's the controller deep dive. They kind of cut away to some of the controller's features, which I thought was kind of strange. I figured they'd kind of pace that out a little bit better. Maybe just put it all at the end. But
Yeah.
whatever.
It
It broke up the conference well enough anyway, and it kind of gave you a little bit of a better look at the controller. Showcased a little bit of the fine-tuned details that they put onto the grip of the controller, which is I guess they actually put this sacred symbols in there. Triangle, square, circle, X are just like plastered all over the grip,
Which is cool.
which is kind of cool. Nice, neat little touch.
Hopefully it doesn't feel strange on my hand.
Yeah, that would suck. But the next game is a really interesting one. It's a kind of weird, ambiguous space horror style game. Housemarque's new IP, Returnal.
Yeah.
So, do you remember seeing this one?
This one, this was not on the list of whatchamacallits. I had to look this one up separately, and I really didn't watch too much on it.
Yeah, so let me just kind of get you through this one. So this woman, she's in a spacecraft and she's crashing on a planet.
Okay.
And she continuously crashes on this planet and dies over and over and over and over again. So it's like Groundhog Day, but you're being murdered by aliens instead of, just waking up.
Oh, okay, yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the premise of the game, and it gets more and more terrifying, and the more time you actually survive on the planet, it's the crazier it gets. It seems, and it seems really psychological and horror-y, and I think this was the one that was co-written by one of the guys that wrote Dead Space.
Okay,
Guys,
I could see this a very Dead Space like game.
yeah. So if that's the type of pedigree we're dealing with here, excuse me, I loved Dead Space.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally down for this. Returnal is an over the top, crazy, like action 80s movie type name, and I'm down for it.
Yeah, it seems cool. It's not my vein, but you know, I'm sure there'll be plenty more about it as we get more information.
Well, maybe this next one will tickle your taste buds. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
platforming game, a la like a Mario 3D World. It's like isometric, top down ish looking, and stars the Sackboy from Little Big Planet. Who knew that he was actually going to make an appearance again on a PlayStation platform? But here we are.
I mean, that's pretty cool because he was like, was it PS3 that Sackboy was like came out with as a launch title?
Yeah, it was Little Big Planet. I'm not sure if it was a launch title. It might have been, but yeah,
Oh yeah, it was
Media,
Little Big
Media
Planet.
Molecule is coming out again. I actually don't know if this was a Media Molecule game.
Uh,
I didn't look into that. I just assumed because it was Sackboy, but
it was actually it was, and it came out in 2008. Came out
or,
October 2008. So
no, this new one.
yeah, no, no, I'm talking about Little Big Planet. It was a launch title for the PS3. Uh,
Oh, it's launch title.
and
Gotcha.
it is developed by the same people.
Fair enough. So yeah, Sackboy: A Big Adventure seems a little bit more on the
Mm.
childy side. You know,
I mean, Sackboy, come
drawing
on, dude.
those chitlins. But
It's a classic
yeah,
adventure game.
yeah, it looks like it could be fun. I had a lot of fun with Mario 3D World when I played it with good old Shay. So it was,
Except for getting thrown off everything. But yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's always the problem with Mario games, isn't it?
yeah.
But yeah, the next one on our list is one that I wish was a Twisted Metal game, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's Destruction All Stars. It's a car battle game with colorful characters. Looks like a pretty interesting cast of characters that you'll probably get to know. Very very Nintendo like these last two games. I feel like they've kind of blueprinted out Nintendo's a couple of Nintendo's titles with these last couple. With this one being a lot like, or this style of this one being a lot like the fighting game Arms that Nintendo had. I feel I got a lot of that vibe from this one.
See, just saw Rocket League. Like, I really
Yeah,
wish this was
that too. That
a
too.
full metal, or not a full metal, a Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I feel like if they had rebooted Twisted Metal and threw that in there, that it just would have been another game that Sony could have just touted as like, yeah, we got this too, and this, and this, and this, and this. But there's so many on here that I guess it really doesn't matter.
yeah, I would have liked to have seen a Vigilante 8 as well, like a remaster of Vigilante 8, because that was a really really fun game that got a lot of attraction alongside Twisted Metal, but never really picked up any further.
And so did Driver, but
Yeah,
you
true, very true.
know. So yeah, Destruction All Stars looks pretty cool. Like I said, it's really bright, colorful. Has a lot of, like you said, damn,
Rocket League.
uh, yeah, Rocket League vibes.
Yo,
And honestly, pretty much what I would want to do in Rocket League is exactly what these people are doing in this game, is just crashing into vehicles and ruining everyone's day. So
makes sense. Uh,
anyway,
this next one though. Next one
yeah,
was interesting.
you like this one?
Um, it sparked my eye a little bit with the kind of adventure way that it was set out, and then it was like coming to PC later this year, and I was like, maybe.
Maybe. So Ember Labs, new IP. I believe they're a relatively new studio too. I'm not sure
Very
about their
sure.
age, but their new IP, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, is very Disney esque in its animation style. The narration over the whole trailer was really tasteful. I felt like it really wrapped the trailer up really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
It gave you an idea of what the main character Kenna might be facing in her struggles. It looks like a Zelda like action adventure game
You know,
in very similar in that vein.
this reminded me a lot of Fable.
That too, yeah.
Very, very like Fable-esque. Definitely something that I could like see picking up and just casually playing with Deborah, or like, you know what I mean? Like very, very casual game.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it'll push the challenge on you too much, but it looks like it'll tell you a good environmental story, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously the animations are gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
I can't say enough about like all of these titles. The just showcasing the best parts of those games. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
they just look great.
This next one, by the way, it was not on the highlight either. So, I'll be you'll
Okay,
be
yeah,
taking this one right the hell away. I'm
yeah,
looking at
this,
it now and I'm like, that looks
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, man. So I feel like this is one you might have actually perked up for. So that it's anime dinosaurs, and if that doesn't hook you, then let me explain the rest of it. It's anime dinosaurs in a high school set. It seems to be like before the dinosaurs get hit by a meteor. So it's a strange title. It's a coming of age graphic novel style game, it seems, and it looks like you're going to be in the shoes of some high school student dinosaurs. But I don't think that it really matters that you're dinosaurs. I'm pretty sure it's a tale of just coming of age.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at it now. It just really looks like a furry novel.
Yeah, yeah, and in a lot of ways it is. In a lot of ways,
Yeah. It's hand drawn.
it's really nice looking. Honestly, I'll give it that.
It's cool. Like I'm sure it has a genre. I don't do visual novels personally. Deborah does visual novels, but
Yeah, so she might be into this one.
yeah,
That's again another point towards like the eclectic nature of all of this is there's so many games, so many different games, so many games for different people. I feel like anybody could have found a game that they really liked in this list. So
I agree. I mean, there's so much in this list, man.
I know, yeah, we're like we're rounding around halfway here. So,
It's true.
whew. um, so yeah, that one's interesting to say the least. But the next one I think is actually a really cool reboot that they're bringing up, or I guess you could call it a spiritual sequel if you want to go that route. Is Oddworld Soulstorm. So I don't know if you've ever played the Oddworld games,
I have not, and I
but
didn't know anything about it previous to either.
yeah, so it's an old franchise that came out on the PS1, and it's how do I describe it? It's like a side-scrolling puzzle platformer uh, slash survival game.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, there's like gruesome deaths and stuff like that that you can get yourself into in all of your little followers. So you have to essentially, as in the old ones, you were Abe, who was this little green alien, and you were trying to save his people from a life of slavery underneath an um, evil empire of some sort. I'm not exactly sure about the specifics, but yeah, they're rebooting an old franchise, and I love to see I love to see old franchises come back and have
Yeah.
a second chance at life, especially ones like this that aren't necessarily going to push the graphics or anything like that, but is nice to see updated old game styles. You know, like how you would take an old game and update it for future audiences to see
Mm-hmm.
whether or not it actually fits in the ethos of gaming right now.
And I mean, they looked like they did a really, really good job on mechanics. Like they look like they've definitely fleshed out mechanics very well, and everything looked very good for what it was.
Hmm.
So definitely, I don't know if I would play this personally, but I could definitely see, if you like puzzle-esque games, definitely probably pick that up when it comes out.
Yeah, and this is a far more cinematic version of this game than we've ever seen before. Because as far as I know, there weren't like many cutscenes in those games before.
I
I
mean,
only played like one or two of them, and it was never about like cutscene gameplay or even really the story. It was just more about like the puzzle areas and kind of more like environmental storytelling, where they're telling you like, oh well, these people are being treated absolutely horribly. They're getting shit poured all over them, or they're being
yeah,
electrocuted to be forced to work or something. It's crazy. So yeah, I can't wait to see what comes of that one. And that one didn't like spark me as much as a few of these did, but I was definitely interested.
yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
but this next one was one of the ones I was talking about before that was surprising that it is a console exclusive on PS5.
Ah, but that's
It,
changed.
is that no longer the case? Is it no longer just PS5?
Correct. I was wondering if you had found out about it. You didn't. It is also coming to PC.
No, no, I did know that. That's why I mentioned it.
What? Hang on.
I said I said console exclusive.
Oh, I thought you said PS5 exclusive.
No,
Whatever. At this point, man, you wanna fight about specs and whatnot. I mean,
hey man, I'm just saying it's not coming to Xbox. So.
yeah. Well, nothing's going to Xbox. Get out of here.
Yeah, we need to really have a talk with those Microsoft guys. Hopefully, they can show us
Ugh,
something that impresses us next month, because that's when all their shit's going down.
hopefully. But anyways, back to the game. This game looked fucking sick.
Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo, man. So, yeah, why don't you give me your impressions on this one? Because I know what I felt about this game.
I just thought that it looked really cool. I wasn't quite sure of like what it was really trying to do, and the piece that I watched only had like 20 or 30 seconds on it. So I
Okay.
really just liked the concept of like kind of like going around Tokyo, and like I really like the art style, but I don't really know what it's about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's really kind of another one of those ones that really doesn't explain too well, and I mean, you're not really going to get too much off a trailer if you're really trying to get like the story or something. You probably read a page, but
Yeah.
what you can grasp from the trailer is it's first person, obviously, Bethesda, and the main character seems to have these telekinetic or psychokinetic powers that he uses different hand signs, almost like Naruto in a way,
Mhm.
to create different aspects of his abilities, and he fights demons and crazy shit like that. So uh, yeah, it's definitely an interesting. When this was first revealed, I think it was last year that it was revealed. I didn't expect it to be a first person game at all. I saw it and was immediately like, huh. I wonder what this is going to do. I wonder if Bethesda's actually going to go like third person, or what the actual aspect of this game is going to look like. But
Yeah.
a lot of people seem to be disappointed that it's first person, but I think that um, it plays right into their strengths that it's first person. Obviously, being a mainly first person house, I'm not sure if they really even have um, another style of game that they've made. But
I mean they do, but not very well known.
yeah, but definitely an interesting concept. It's coming 2021, so next year. But uh, I can't wait to see more and get more about the details of the story, because it has a weird, almost horror like aspect to it, but it's very actiony in its combat. So in a lot of ways, when games go too actiony with their combat, it kind of takes away from the horror elements. So I hope that it doesn't go too far in that direction, and it keeps it kind of tense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you go action with your fights, a lot of times what happens is you make the people feel like they could beat that because they're strong and they have the strength. But if you
Right.
keep that villain just so much stronger than you, the gap's so much different that like they know that if they go up into a fight with them that they're gonna just be screwed. Like I feel like that's what you kind of gotta keep.
Yeah.
But
But without taking too much time on Ghostwire, we're going to move right on to Jet. This is a small indie title. I believe this was another Annapurna game. If
uh,
I'm wrong, shoot me. But
I can not tell you because there actually isn't anything on the makers of it currently.
all right. Anyway, so this is seems like a space exploration game. You are a
Super Brothers, sorry. Go ahead.
oh,
Super
Super Brothers is the okay. So this
Super
isn't.
Brothers and Pine Seed.
Oh no. The other Annapurna game is coming up. Two after this one.
Gotcha.
Um,
But anyways, you were saying.
yeah, so this one's a space exploration game. You take the boots of this. I don't know whether you're an astronaut or not, or you're just an explorer that is kind of thrust upon this. It doesn't really give you a good idea of that, but you're thrown to find a new home on another planet, and it just seems like one of those games where you're landing and you're going to be cultivating an area and trying to discover and save your people that way.
It looks kind of fun. I just don't quite know what to expect. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Right.
know. The trailer just was like, "You're flying. Look, there's the Earth or a new planet. Now you're landing. Now you're flying again. Another new planet." Like
Be careful for aliens.
pretty much. I felt like there really wasn't like what am I actually doing here?
Right.
But you know, indie
Yeah,
title.
I think it's just one of those titles that would have been subject to like a sizzle reel in a normal E3 presentation, but actually was given the time of day here, and maybe um, it's just hard to grasp the full concept of the game just from the short bit we got. So doing a little bit of research on this one would probably benefit it more than anything.
I agree. I agree.
The next one is another PS5 PC exclusive,
Ha ha
Godfall.
ha.
They finally showed more of this game. We saw a little bit earlier this year
Yes.
through leaks, and then they finally showed a little bit of gameplay. And the gameplay is not exactly what I expected from this game. I thought it was going to be a little bit grittier, but I guess they seem to be going in a more no.
Oh.
No, shut up.
Sirius like, I would like to chime in.
Don't you chime in, you bitch. So, yeah, Gearbox. Gearbox made this one. I feel like it's a little bit in more of the mainstream um, audience lens here because it seems like really accessible combat. Doesn't seem very complicated in its combos or anything like that. It doesn't
Yeah.
look very intricate in that way, but I could definitely be wrong. It could just be early game footage that we're seeing. Again, there's not a lot of information on a lot of these games, so this is another one where you're just gonna have to wait for more or like a longer demo to really see the nuts and bolts of how this one's actually going to shake out. But it looks pretty.
I mean, it looks cool. Just with no information on it other than the trailer, literally just be like, fighting scene slash slash slash, fighting scene slash slash slash, another fighting scene slash slash. Like we get that it's a slashing game,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much all we get.
They're really coming down on the looter slasher thing. They're just like, wow, yeah, there's a lot of cutting you have to do in this game.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't like mowing the lawn, don't play this one because there's gonna be a lot more slashing than mowing your lawn.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, this next one's the other Annapurna game.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a spiritual successor to Hyper Light Drifter, which is another game in a similar art style called Solar Ash. And yeah, this one looks awesome. Honestly, I love the art style that they're going with here. I didn't play Hyper Light Drifter, but Andy from Kind of Funny is always talking about it, and I'm constantly listening to them. So uh,
Yeah.
he's just going and gushing about this game. So he's usually has pretty good taste in games. So can't go wrong with that.
I mean, it looked cool. I know nothing about, you know, that
Mm,
particular game, and that's not really my genre, so I don't know too much about it. It looked cool though, and obviously I'm always down with like taking older games and then putting them in new lights. So
right.
or
Yeah.
remastering.
So it does look like one of those, I don't know, adventure exploration light combat games that is kind of more like a journey where you're kind of just experiencing the world and going throughout, and that's kind of the game
Mm-hmm.
itself. So if you're not into that, maybe this isn't the game for you. But it definitely does look like one of those games that will hit with a certain audience, and you'll get like a bunch of nines and tens everywhere. So
Yeah, yeah. The people that like it will really like it. The people that don't like it probably won't write a review because they won't play it for long enough to care.
right.
But
So
as
moving on,
as it works.
breakneck pace here. uh,
Yes. Boom, boom,
Hitman
boom.
3. This was one that actually got me pretty excited because I really like the Hitman series. I didn't play Hitman 2 because it was all chunky and
Mm-hmm.
episodic structure. I didn't know where to really start or anything.
Yeah.
Um, might be one to actually go back on, honestly, because I did like how they made the gameplay look in that. But Hitman 3, yeah, it's coming January 2021, and they showed off a little bit of gameplay. It looks very similar to updated graphics, obviously, but yeah, it's awesome that they keep going with Hitman because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's changed hands a few times. Developers have just passed it off,
I
so
do
I'm not.
believe, yeah.
I think it's back with its original developers, but
I'd have to look, but I think you're correct. I think Hitman graphically has never, they've never really been like insane. It is back with its original developers, by the way. There was two companies that developed it originally, and right now it is being developed. Hitman 2 was also developed by these guys. It's IO Interactive.
uh, yeah,
Um, so that's who's developing the game. But I feel like Hitman, you get a little bit of a graphical update, but that's not what you look for. What you look for is the way that the NPCs now act, how much smarter they are, how much more challenging your environment is going to be because you're being faced with this different type of challenge that you didn't know you were going to have to be faced with and you didn't bring the right equipment for, you know?
right. Like maybe them adding ray tracing so much so that enemies can see reflection in glass, and you have to take that into consideration. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be really cool. And I mean, like, Hitman 2 added a lot of, like, really crazy stuff. Like, it added, like, literally, like, IEDs, essentially, which were, like, really cool. It added the rubber ducky that you could throw out, and somebody would be like, a rubber ducky, and they'd pick it up, and then you could blow it up. Like, there were just so many, like, weird little things that they added that I can't wait for them to see what they're going to add for Hitman 3. I love the Hitman series, so.
Yeah, yeah. The all the different weird costumes and things that you could wear, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was always so silly seeing people play that one.
They
But
added a one of the later missions that they did also added a 60 caliber handgun.
oh,
Um, and it literally when you shot somebody with it, it would blow them like across like a 5 foot span, and you could knock people into other people. It was, dude, it was a lot of fun.
that's crazy.
But that's
Yeah,
beside the point.
can't wait for that one. That one's gonna be awesome. But this next one is again, I feel like it's the Nintendoizing of Sony
The hell
coming
is
out.
this?
Uh, Astro Playroom. So this is
It didn't have anything on this. Evidently, they didn't care.
yeah, this is a Sony first party. Did you ever play um, the PS4 came with the virtual room.
I did not. Nope.
So if you had the PlayStation Eye, you could play this game called the Virtual Room or the Virtual Playroom or something like that when you first got your PS4. And these little Astrobots were the flagship for that game. So they've kind of blown those up into last year or the year before. Astrobot Rescue Mission
Hmm.
was a VR game that actually blew up and a lot of people really loved. So now these little Astrobots are coming back. This is like a full-fledged game. I don't think they said VR support, so it seems like they're actually going to be getting a legitimately fan-focused title, not just like a VR um, shot in the sky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little more constructed around what they want.
Yeah. So it's basically a Mario clone platformer. I'd say that mildly because obviously it's going to have some different aspects to it, but that's the best way I can describe it. Is it looks a lot like Mario Odyssey in a lot of ways. So
Hmm. Yeah.
uh, the next one, Little Devil Inside, is actually my secret game of the show. I really liked this trailer. The art style is super super cool. I love the like painterly art style of it all. It was a really funny trailer. There was a good like comedic back and forth between the main character, who seems like he's this woodsy hunter that's been somehow maybe hired by this old man that they keep cutting back to, or this old man's like his uncle, or
Hmm.
I don't know. But it's this constant cut between this hunter who's getting himself into these crazy situations, fighting off bears and crazy beasts. At one point, I think he's fighting like some sort of dragon thing, um, and it's hard cutting back to this old man in a bath, or this old man like drinking some tea or getting some groceries, and
Yeah.
it just really had a good comedic flavor to it. And the animations and all that, if it even showed gameplay during it, I'm not really sure, because obviously there's no HUD or anything like that. But the animations in just this little tidbit, if any of those gameplay, looked really really smooth and great. Um, yeah, so I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, this one I don't know how much research you actually did to kind of into it. Um this one actually was kickstart backed in 2015.
Wow, so this one's been going for a while.
This one, yeah, this one's actually been going for a while. They've been working on it for quite some time. Um, it has 5,126 backers, and it's raised 306,000 AU, which is um, it's like 280,000 USD. Um, so it's been backed for quite some time now, and they've just been kind of developing it, and it looks really cool. It's really cool to see Kickstarters that like even know that it's already been backed and everything's completely done. They've been updating their Kickstarter even though everything's already done. And there's a ton of information on it, and they actually had even more information updates since they went and did their presentation. So if you liked this game and like the looks at it, these guys are really active in developing what they've got going on, which is
Yeah,
really cool to see.
that's really cool to see. And just the vibes of this game, it gives me like Witcher vibes
Mm,
almost.
it's so
In
cool.
it, yeah, it's a really really interesting little game that I'm really excited about. Little Devil Inside is one to watch for sure.
Yo,
The next one is a flashy trailer from NBA 2K21, featuring Zion Williamson, the I think he's like a forward for the Pelicans or something like that. And
the
yeah, it,
Pelicans.
it it looks it looks really good. None of that was gameplay, I don't think. It was in engine,
I'm
but
very sure none of that's gameplay.
yeah. So um, in engine, so take that with what you want. It can always be subject to change because they're 2K and they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, I just didn't know what to. I mean, it's a 2K game. I was like, I saw that and was like, Cool. It's a 2K
Yeah.
game.
But this next one is a banger, man. I can't tell you enough how much I'm excited for this next one.
I
So I'll let you tell me how excited you are.
I'm
Uh,
so very. I don't know really what it is.
are you? Let me just ask you this one question because it's the one joke I'm going to be able to get in before the end of this.
Oh,
There'll
perfect.
probably be more. Are you hungry for bug snacks?
Sure.
All right.
No,
Holiday 2020, man. Bug snacks.
bug snacks. I legitimately know nothing about this one as well. They didn't like. I didn't see a highlight on this one.
I sense a theme, and it's the ones that are very like mediocre looking during this this event seem to have no information on them. Sony's like, maybe they're not those.
Maybe not those ones. Yeah, maybe.
But
Maybe I don't
Bug
know.
Snacks, it's got heart. I'll give it that, and
It's
it's a
got
very
heart, dude.
it's for the kids for sure. I don't think this is going to be one that's going to be targeted towards um, us necessarily, but
Good Depper game.
it's good. Yeah, it's good to see them pushing a little bit more towards that video games for kids too. So I'm glad to see that they're not all just like horrifying horror games and shooters and violence. There's got to be a little bit of this stuff in there too. And the humor in this one is actually pretty like Rick and Morty like, which I almost half expected it to end with some sort of like Rick and Morty stinger, where it was made by the same guys as did Trover Save the Universe. But
Yo, that's yeah, that would be cool. I like. I mean, obviously, I didn't see anything about it, but I do like comedy games. You know what I mean? Games that just have
yes,
good lines while you're going through the game and are funny.
yeah, the basic premise of it is it's a animated. The island is, or the island that you are washed up on. I guess I don't know. You're on an island, the
Okay.
island of bug snacks, and on this island, food is bugs,
Bug snack.
and
Food is
when
bugs. I see.
when you eat these bugs, you then the or at least the inhabitants of this island start to transform into the fruit bug that they have eaten.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is about all we know about that.
Oh, dude, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so um, get your Christmas lists ready, kids, because
That's
that
got
one's
to be
coming
on
out
it.
2020.
Yeah, that's gonna be on it for sure. 100%.
All right, so here's where we start to get into the good shit, the real good shit. Um, so Demon Souls.
Yes.
The Demon Souls remake is finally announced. It's been rumored for a really long time. The trailer looks dope.
Looks pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, and if you're into Souls games at all, this is where it all began. This was the very initial Souls title, and I'm just really glad that they're taking it back to the roots and remaking something that really, honestly, deserves a remake. Whereas if they were to kind of go back and remake Dark Souls, it wouldn't really make much sense in the new age where we have a bunch of Dark Souls. But Demon Souls being a PS3, I believe, exclusive, and
Yup.
it just being kind of washed by the wayside as soon as Dark Souls got popular.
And
Um,
it looks so fucking good, dude. It looks
yeah,
so fucking good.
yeah, Blue Point is gonna knock this out of the fucking park, honestly, and I can't wait to see more from this game, actual gameplay, and where they're taking the actual scope of the world in that, because I would love to see like a huge scope on that game and just blow it out and make it like an awesome, epic, like dark medieval fantasy horror game, and uh, love to see it. Love to see it.
For real though. Then this next one, dude.
Yeah, I knew you'd be excited for this one.
A little bit excited. Not a lot of bit excited, but like, excited enough where I immediately was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and another PS5 PC exclusive. So we're in that club together, man.
Hell yeah, we are, dude. Hell yeah, we are. So, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it'd be Deathloop, which is a game that I actually mentioned a couple weeks ago. I think it was like 3 weeks ago or something like that. That I was kind of surprised we hadn't heard anything about since. And la da 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 da, now we have.
I gotta go back and listen to our predictions episode so we can actually get the predictions we had for all these events and whatnot.
Well, Skate 4 isn't on here, so I lost. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, we all lost. We all lost.
But yeah, I mean, the video looked really cool. It wasn't as cinematic as the first one either, which was kind of nice as well. But I still kind of don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, it's the gameplay premise seems very much like you die, obviously repeat, die, repeat, die, repeat. But it didn't really shine much light on what the aspect of the other character is going to be, whether or not you're just going to consistently be matched up against other people on an
Mm-hmm.
online platform with just this random woman trying to kill you everywhere you go, or if it's going to be scripted or anything like that. It's still ambiguous on that end, but it does look dope, and the soundtrack is sick.
I mean, what if you are the random woman and sometimes you're the random dude? Like, what if it's just a straight PvP one versus one? You know,
That could be. It could be.
we don't know. Even though it does seem like that's not the case because there is a little bit of a story beat in there. But
Yeah,
hey, you never know.
could be an ongoing thing like Apex, where there's like a story being thrown around in the background, and you don't really care about it too much because you're just too busy not trying to die in the last circle.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely looks dope.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And yeah, Bethesda, man, they're just pumping them out, I guess.
I mean, yeah, Bethesda kind of does that. You know who else does that?
Capcom.
Yeah, Capcom does that from time to time. Matter of fact, Capcom has the 2 games in a row here, actually.
Yeah, yeah, they do. They're blowing their load all over the end of this conference. It's
Gross.
gross.
That's funny.
Oh man, I feel like I mentioned blowing loads too much on this podcast.
Anyways, so Resident Evil Village. Um,
It's all right. They're not gonna get an hour in. Come on, laugh a little bit.
we're not an hour yet. We're 57 minutes.
Yeah, we're close. Anyway, yeah. So what did you think? This was kind of like a diversionary trailer where they didn't really necessarily want you to know what was going on until the very end, and then they gave it to you. What do you think?
Um, I don't really know about this one. Um, I don't. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Uh,
Did you play Resident Evil 7?
yeah, I didn't play a lot of Resident Evil at all, and I've never really played a lot of Resident Evil ever.
Okay, so then this probably didn't make much sense to you at all. But one of the big things with this trailer is the way that it ends is Chris Redfield, who's a character from the first or second game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the second game. No. It's definitely the first game. First game.
Did you play Resident
Yeah.
Evil?
Yep. I definitely played two like a few months ago, and I completely forgot.
Lol.
So yeah, Chris Redfield is a character from the first game, who is now back in this trailer, and there's no real explanation as to why. So it's really an interesting premise for what the story is actually going to tell. It seems like Chris knows the person that you're playing in this game, who I think is a new protagonist or the protagonist from Seven. I still haven't played Resident Evil 7. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta go on that because apparently it's dope.
Evidently, it's got something that you missed.
Yeah, I definitely missed a lot.
Definitely.
I didn't really understand this trailer too much either. I just know the imagery from other Resident Evil games, but I am still really excited for this because you can't deny that the Capcom knows how to reveal a game. Just simply putting out the word village and then having the 8 appear in the word village, it's like oof,
It was
man, that's sick.
I don't know what to expect from that one, to be 100% honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you expect like a first person, pretty graphically intensive, horrifying, zombie filled nightmare escape of an experience.
I guess I do know what to expect from it then. Never mind. Plot twist.
Yeah, moving on to Pragmata, their other game that they announced back to back. Uh,
Ah, yeah.
did you see this one? Did you see the trailer for this one?
I saw about 30 seconds of it because that's all the highlight reel really had for it, and I was pretty much just like, okay. Uh,
Mm,
didn't really have too much on it. Tried looking up a little bit while we were talking there. Really isn't too much on it. So,
very, very, yeah, ambiguous to say the least. That you're this uh, space astronaut looking dude in this space space age armor, and you have this little girl, and
yeah.
you deploy this rubber band ball safety device to protect you from falling debris as you're falling from a skyscraper or something. And man, it just looked weird. It looked a lot like a Kojima game, and
Yep.
I thought for sure we were gonna get that Kojima stinger at the end, but it's a Capcom game,
It's
and that's
definitely weird.
coming in 2022.
Here's a fun fact for you. Uh, Preg Pragmata or whatever, however you say that, is also some sort of pro software that it costs thousands of dollars, and it's actually a little hard to find details on the PS5 version versus the program itself.
Well, that's not good for Pragmata, but
Not
honestly,
specifically.
they've got time to get the whole. Um, wow,
Kit and
just lost the word.
caboodle. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna go with merchandising side of things,
Ah,
but
yes, yes, yes.
it
Of
just
course.
completely escaped me. Yeah, they got time to get the merchandising and all that down to get Pragmata into the minds of the masses.
Yeah, they'll definitely just want to fix something. It's weird that they would choose that name, um, especially where it's like a professional software. But
Right.
that's this next one, however, isn't a professional software and is already in a lot of people's minds. So
Oh man, it's so. Before we get into this last game, throughout this whole reveal and conference, which has been at this point, if you actually watched the whole thing and not are just listening to us ramble on about it, it's been like game after game after game after game after game, and they've just nailed you into the ground with reasons to buy a PS5. And man, it's really shown like what Xbox is lacking, and honestly what Xbox has done right,
mhm.
but it's it's still not necessarily enough. Like they still need to come with a big game slate this coming month to even answer back to what has just happened for Sony. And it just shows how big a swing Sony can take when they really want to like knuckle up on the bat.
Definitely for sure, dude. A lot of games, and this one in particular is gonna get a lot of people really hyped for the PS5.
Yeah, so uh, we start with a beautiful trailer showcasing an oceanscape and these islands of separated trees, and you hear the voice of Aloy narrating over a gorgeously rendered trailer that I don't think would run on the PS6, let alone the PS5. But yeah, so Horizon Forbidden West was announced, and it
It looks good.
it's taking the Horizon story and pushing it forward into um, a new storyline, one that doesn't necessarily encapsulate looking back on the past of what happens in the actual story of the first Horizon, but looking forward into what possibly could be them rebuilding a society, which is super super cool. I like where they're going. It's very unique for a post apocalyptic story to now be actually trying to solve the problems that are taking part in the post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's like never done in any medium. There's always like talk of a cure or them trying to get a cure, but it seems like they're really this is the game where you're going to find the cure for whatever this horrible disease is that's killing wildlife and stuff like that. So it seems like it's going to have a good message, really great graphics, good gameplay mechanics. Hopefully, if they keep this stuff from last game, it's going to be dope because I love that one.
There was just so many mechanics from the last game that were really cool. I didn't personally play the game, however, I did watch a lot of the game played.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the story was really cool, and I also really liked the environment that the game was set in. And I figured that they would end up just creating more with it because it was such a fan favorite, and so many people really thought that the idea was cool.
Mm-hmm.
The company
Yeah,
just seems very devoted to the ideals as well that are in the game, so they do a very good job.
yeah, it really definitely comes through that Sony wants to push their mascots forward and show them off and create new mascots in just the games that we've seen now, where they're bringing back Ratchet, they're pushing Spider-Man,
Hmm.
they're partnering with people like Square Enix to possibly have new figureheads like Athea, whoever that is,
Yeah.
uh, Sackboy's coming back, Abe from Oddworld. There's all these characters that they've had in their backlog for so long that they're now bringing to the forefront, and they have these new characters like Aloy that they're really starting to cultivate and create like a love around. And I feel like that's something that Nintendo's had for a really long time, and Xbox has had with Halos and Gears and stuff like that. But now Sony has really set their feet in the ground and started to get their characters too.
Yeah,
Love
for
it.
sure.
Now the big enchilada, the piece de resistance.
Oh boy.
Man, this sexy fucking PS5 reveal, man. This video, it seemed like it took forever for them to actually get the box out of this weird bubble wall that they were showing. Again, can't
Yeah.
say enough about the graphic designer that came up with all this bullshit. Oh, he had to work some overtime for sure. But man,
Uh,
the way they just like cut it down and everything, like the light just falls into the box, and then you hear the snap and that sexy music comes on. You're like, ooh,
I
ooh.
wonder. So, what hit me when I was watching this? It's like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. How many times did they practice this? How many
Oh, dude.
times did they like fucking do this? And the guy just like the guy knows at this point they've done it so many times that he knows how many breaths he has to take before the PS5 comes out, and he needs to act speechless, even though he's seen this fucking box like 75 times in the last 2 hours.
Right,
Like,
right. It's just like when they're filming those like Coke commercials or whatever with those big horrible hydraulic machines,
yo,
and they have to get it just right. So they keep pushing the table closer and closer to the hydraulic machine so the pour is just right. Or it's like, man, this perfect lighting as they pull off of it, and it just comes down, and then the reveal of not only just the console but a digital edition of the console,
yeah,
which in my opinion looks like way better than the disc drive console.
I
It
also
just
agree.
looks sleeker and beautiful, which wish it had a bigger hard drive. Probably just going to get an external and get the digital edition, but
I mean,
that's
yeah,
that's for future me to figure out. But man,
looked
what do you
cool.
think about the design? Yeah,
I think it looked really cool. I like the design. It is a little closer to like a Wi-Fi router than I would like.
yeah,
Um,
that seems to be the consensus that keeps going around. Is everybody thinks it's like very like overly flashy hardware, like
yeah,
routers and stuff of that ilk try to be, with all the different fins and gadgets and antennas sticking up off of it. It's like, oh man, it's space age. But
yeah. I don't know. We definitely got two extremes this year. Like we got Xbox which is literally just a fucking box with lights. And then we got PlayStation 5, which looks like it's trying to figure out how it's going to steal all of your money and then fly away to the PlayStation 5 space station, and you'll never see it again. I like
Right. Yeah, man, it looks like with what they have at their like car concept places
Yeah.
carved out in the putty before they actually, cut down all the stuff that they don't need and actually figure out how people are going to afford this crazy machine. It's that before they make all the price cuts.
Except this already has the price cuts made, which
Yeah.
does make me wonder how much it's going to cost, but you know.
It really intrigues me to see that price, especially now that they have the digital edition to have it like maybe cheaper price point.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see what the price point will be. There's so many rumors going around of people saying it'll be this. No, it's going to be this. No, there was a price leak today. There's a price leak tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they're so different. It's not like, oh, there was a price leak 450. There was another price leak 455. It's like there was a price leak $300. There was another price leak $800, and you're like, wait a second.
Hold on,
That's
just
those are
cut and pick a minute.
Yeah, those are like fucking so wide in price ranges, dude. Like, come on, man.
Man, yeah. So this event just got me so hyped for the later this year that I completely forgot that The Last of Us was coming out this Friday last week, and
Yep.
then Monday hit this week, and I was like, wow, Last of Us is coming out this Friday, and I haven't pre-ordered it.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so I pre-ordered it last night, and I can't wait for Friday, man. That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna play nothing but that all day, and
dude.
it's gonna be like 90 degrees here, but I'm not gonna give a damn.
I also am going to play nothing but PoE, um, because that's what we were definitely talking about. Because that season starts Friday.
Yeah. Well, that is gonna do it for us. Obviously, this PS5 edition of GoodeBaker has gone now over an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're at an hour and 15, just about.
If you made it this far, it's obvious that I don't have to remind you, but I'm going to anyway. Please like, subscribe, and share all of our stuff on all of our platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and of course on the YouTube. Look for us on Apple Music and Spotify. Listen to us there because support. And we'll see you next week. And we love you guys. Peace.
Peace.